Dude, what the hell? It's freaking PS3 lag. I can't make any of my turns. I can't pick up my customers.
Maybe you're just bad at Crazy Taxi. Do you have to know that?
Dude, no way. If this was Xbox, I'd be dominating. I'd have the highest score possible.
Let me get the controller. Come on, let me show you high scores. Yeah. Love this song. Ah, there you go. High score. Done. See that? Now, should I jump back in that taxi and go to Walmart and get you some tissues? Unbelievable.
What's going on, guys? This is Mike.
This is Natal.
And welcome to Fight Your Rival, episode 11. Do not adjust your TV. That is not PS3 lag. That was just me. But we're going to get right into it.
Here you go, guys. Here's the rushdown.
The Rushdown.
So NCR 11 just wrapped up. It was this past weekend. A lot of crazy things happened in all the games. Unfortunately, there was no Injustice.
No Injustice.
Yeah, unfortunately, and since it's a Road to EVO qualifier, it had pretty much just the games for EVO there. But even though the Injustice wasn't in the game, there was a lot of injustice going on in the tournament itself.
I have to agree. Not only was it one of the most entertaining tournaments in recent memory across all games, but it was also had a lot of drama going on.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy stuff. I guess we'll start with Marvel, which is where it mostly went down. I know Filipino champ NorCal, you expect him to either win, he won last year, or at least make top 8, but he wasn't even there. What happened?
Basically, from what I heard from one of the commentators, is he, during his polls, he played someone he didn't know, he didn't respect them, so he chose a different team, landed up losing, and then his next match was PR Rog, and then he lost.
It's really funny. It really proves you can't sleep on anyone in Marvel. And speaking of sleeping on people, this is probably the most publicized match of the whole weekend. Saturday night, Chris G versus Senor Taxi, who I didn't even know was a person. I didn't know it was a real thing until this weekend. They played on the main stage. It was like top 48.
Yes.
And Chris G was playing his team, playing his stuff, and Senor Taxi just had this sick Chris Spencer Dante team, and he just wrecked him 3-1.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I was really impressed. I didn't expect to see what I saw. But, you know, if there's drama, it has to be with Chris G, because when it comes to drama, there's so much drama in the FGC, it's kind of hard being AGE Chris G.
I have to agree. I mean, Snoop Dogg said it best when he wrote that song. But yeah, basically after the match ended, even though it really looked like, there were drop combos, but Senor Taxi put on a strong showing.
Yeah, he did.
And of course, Chris G took right to Twitter, like every player does ever, and was like, I can't believe I lose to bad players because of PS3 lag, which is, seems to be the trend of the year. Everyone complaining about that.
Yeah, hashtag PS3 lag.
And Mr. Wizard immediately, who was one of the EVO organizers, immediately tweeted at Chris. He's like, should I call you a taxi? Chris goes, where are we going? He goes to Walmart to get you a box of tissues. Which,
so awesome.
It's funny. I mean, it's kind of a childish jab, but hey, why not? And, Chris replied with a decidedly not nice slur, which, got a lot of people upset. But, I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about Chris G kind of lashing out right after he lost?
I mean, it's understandable when you are playing in a tournament. I mean, I'm only putting myself in the shoes of a top player because unfortunately I'm not one. But if I was in the shoes of a top player and I lost, and especially if I had the status of Chris G, I would be fairly upset and probably like shoot out the mouth and not think before I speak. So I could see where he's coming from, but I mean, whatever, it's not the biggest deal in the world because you still won the tournament.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter Senor Taxi beat you because you still won. And you beat the guy Neo in grand finals and you made him look like he never played the game before. his Phoenix got beat up so quickly. You 6-0'd him.
Yeah, and despite the 6-0, I mean, great showing by Chris G, but huge props to Neo for making second. If you guys don't know, Neo is actually a pretty legendary Marvel 2 player. Him and Clockwork had probably one of the most epic money matches. You can check out on I Play Winner. It was like the last money match at MVC 2. So he's a great player. He's still great at Marvel 3. And he's the guy that makes those When's Marvel shirts.
Yeah.
So he actually sponsored the event. He was running the booth.
The Underground Syndicate.
Okay. He runs Underground Syndicate. So on top of running his business, selling his shirts all weekend, and like pretty much not sleeping, he managed to take second in Marvel, which is really impressive.
Well, then I give him much more credit than that. I didn't know he was doing all that. So Neo, pretty good shit. Second place at NCR 11 and doing all that.
Yeah, he got his second place money. He got his T-shirt money. I mean, you can't do any better than that.
Very lucrative weekend for him.
Definitely great. So huge props to Neo. And speaking of the usual cast of characters winning, Infiltration took Street Fighter.
Obviously.
But at the same time, the grand finals was no easy game.
No, not at all.
No free win.
Second place was Jean.
Yes.
And he took it to Infiltration. He actually reset the bracket against Infiltration. Yeah. He's a nasty gen player, and I guess Infiltration's not used to playing a lot of gens.
I would say so. I think it's a mix of that, and Jan is just really on a tear lately at tournaments. I mean, he's been dominating pretty much every major 2D game. He plays Street Fighter, Cross Tekken, Marvel, even KOF.
Yeah.
And he's just a consistent top 8 player in all 4 of those games, which is really impressive.
And if you guys want to watch all these matches, definitely go to I Play Winner's YouTube channel, youtube.com/iplaywinner, and they will all be there in recent activities or playlists. You guys know how to use YouTube. You're watching us.
Yeah, and quick shout outs to Mark Teddy for holding it down with Guy, making top 8. And while we saw a lot of great games in NCR, we did not see Dead or Alive 5.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Well, it might not be the most popular game, but it seems like Team Ninja's already ramping up a sequel of sorts, an update to Dead or Alive 5.
Yep, just like in the footsteps of Capcom with Marvel and Ultimate Marvel, Team Ninja has decided to make a new DOA. Now, we don't know much about it. There was a teaser trailer. It was shown on Shoryuken. And all it shows is one of the female characters in the Ninja Gaiden series walking on a rooftop, and while she hears a bunch of people kicking the crap out of each other.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have a ton of news on this yet, but it kind of surprises me because not only is DOA 5 really new, it came out back in September, but I don't see what they can add to it that can't be done via simple DLC.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they're just adding so much that it would make sense. Almost like UMVC. Before UMVC came out, I was like, what's the point? You could just make a DLC. And then when I got the game, I was like, oh, I see why you had me pay for this. Like, if they hypothetically decide to add 12 characters and bring back, like, original stages and things like that, like, if they really spruce it up. But if it's literally, like, just one added character and all the DLC that you paid for now on the disc, I don't see it going anywhere.
I mean, there is some potential they could bring back some old school characters like Ein and Leon. We really have to wait and see what new information comes out regarding it. But apparently they're planning the final DOA 5 tournament in July.
Yeah, July 2013. The last official DOA 5 tournament. So that means this game is coming out for early fall.
So pretty much
September.
Yeah, pretty much a year after the original DOA 5, it seems like it's going to be getting its Ultimate Edition. So we'll have to see what happens. It might be worth it. It might be an extra character for $60. We'll really have to wait and see.
Speaking of games getting DLC, Skullgirls, the game we pretty much talk about every week, has its newest DLC character chosen.
Yes, very exciting news. Eliza
yes.
has won the first round of voting for the bonus DLC character. As you guys know, Lab Zero got so much money from the Indiegogo campaign that they're able to pump out more characters than they even planned. So she's going to be the first bonus character outside of the previous 2.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited for her. She looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of like pharaohs in Egypt. So the fact that like her bodyguards look like 2 Egyptian pharaohs in like business suits, and she has like blood aunts around her and stuff like that. She seems really cool. So I'm pretty excited for it. And weren't you hinting to me earlier today about the patch possibly coming out for the 360?
Yes, I heard a blurb somewhere that the patch for 360 is getting closer and closer. It's just waiting approval from Microsoft, which kind of seems like it has been from the beginning.
Yes.
But it seems like it's reaching, the next phase that it needs to be at. So, we don't have a release date for you guys, but there is hope that we'll finally get the patch, us 360 gamers, like Natal and myself.
Yeah.
Which comes at a perfect time, because now that all this exciting stuff is coming for Skullgirls, it's not just PS3 players that are going to want it. I want it.
Yeah, seriously. I donated to that Indiegogo.
Yeah.
I want my DLC characters.
Exactly. I want to play all these cool new characters. I want to play the proper patch version of the game and, play a better version of my characters. So, here's to hoping everything works out at Microsoft. And as always, just shout out to Lab Zero for just keeping the hype train rolling on some Skullgirls.
Totally. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps up the Rushdown.
Yeah.
And it's time for the tweets of the week.
Tweet of the week.
So it seems like the internet fighting game gods are always watching over me when I'm looking for tweets of the week, because something hilarious always pops up at the last minute. This week is no exception, as somebody, it might have been Drew Grimy that started, but someone found a hilarious picture. I think it's a screen cap from America's Funniest Home Videos, and it looks like a baby Filipino champ.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah, adorable round Filipino head, shiny earrings,
Yep.
everything, just a bite-sized version of him. And of course, the internet does not wait to make a joke out of anything, so there are a ton of memes with the little F-Champ head just talking smack. He's like, have you seen my Dormammu dog? CJ, can you just win a round? Just all the classic crap that Champ likes to talk, just put into meme form, and I think it's hilarious.
Guys, if you're going to check out all the memes, please take your time. Read them all. They're really funny. It's now escalated to past memes where headphones are being added, sunglasses as well. It's a shit show. It's crazy out there.
I love it. I hope the trend continues. I hope people scour the internet and find like a mini Chris G, a little kid with a beard and a ponytail, little Justin Wong, and I don't know. I just hope it explodes, because this stuff is always funny. Like you said, the internet wastes no time.
Never.
So please check out the memes, enjoy them, make your own, and shout outs to the internet, to all the monsters, really.
Yeah, seriously. Shout out to the FGC for being able to laugh at themselves.
Yeah, FGC, always a funny group of people, always a very random group of people.
Yeah, very random. And that's perfect, because that brings us to our next segment, Random Select.
Random Select.
So my random select should be of interest to a lot of the fighting game community, because if you guys don't know, Iron Man 3 drops this weekend. I've been excited for this movie for a long time, even though I forgot it was coming out until about a week ago.
A taxi cab reminded me.
Yeah. It hasn't been, the advertising hasn't been as in our face as usual, which is surprising.
Yeah.
But I personally can't wait. I mean, if you guys have seen the trailer, this definitely looks like the darkest Iron Man. Looks very action-packed, looks very exciting, especially with, I still kind of am fiending for a good superhero movie after Avengers, so, it's going to pick up right where that left off, and hopefully it's great. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, last week it opened internationally, and it made $135 million international opening weekend, more than the international opening weekend of the Avengers.
Wow.
So you might get your wish this Friday.
Yeah, I hope I do. So, if it lives up to all the hype, it should be a great movie, and if you guys have just been following the whole Marvel movie universe, I'm sure there's going to be a great addition to it. So
Yeah, typical stay after the credits, Thor reference or something like that.
Of course.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man reference, who knows?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens. My random select of the week is actually one of the stupidest New York laws I've ever heard of recently. So if you guys ride the trains in the NYC, you guys get either the AM or the Metro of New York. You know what I'm talking about. So in those free early subway papers, there was an article of a woman coming out of a club on her way home. She was dressed, looking good because she's going to a club. Cops stopped her. They searched the bag. They found condoms in her bag, and they were able to arrest her because apparently there's a law where if you're scantily clad or look like you're selling yourself, and the cops search your purse and they find condoms in there, they could arrest you and hold you over the weekend for the possibility of prostitution.
that is ridiculous.
Isn't that some crazy shit?
So the cops decided to just assume she's a prostitute.
Yeah, because she's dressed kind of skanky. And
she uses protection.
Yep, and she spent the weekend in jail.
Wow, for dressing sexy and packing condoms, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Even for New York, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's bugged out. So we're warning you ladies out there, don't go see Iron Man 3 this Friday with condoms in your purse. Because if there's a cop in the theater, your ass is getting arrested. It's serious.
Apparently, hide those condoms well. Put them in your shoe or something.
Yeah. Treat them like a bag of pot, dude. Just hide them. Or just
man.
give it to your man to carry.
Well, speaking of, I wonder if the law's gonna carry over to men. I mean, there are men prostitutes.
Well, technically it does already. They target like drag queens and transvestites. So if they see like a dude in drag, they'll stop him in the street, and if he has a condom, oh, you're in drag, you're obviously a prostitute drag queen, so you're going to jail for the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that kills my plans for the weekend.
Yeah.
But I hope the weekend goes better for you guys watching at home.
And as always, this is Natal from Fight Your Rival.
This is Mike from Fight Your Rival.
And remember, guys,
Keep fighting.
keep fighting.